What's happening, everyone? Jordan Schumacher here. Welcome back to the program. I have a lot of questions that get asked about the Facebook Business Manager. It's an incredibly powerful tool, but for a multi-billion-dollar company, the user experience of the Business Manager is not very intuitive. In fact, it's often very counterintuitive. And so in this video, what I wanted to do is just go through the Business Manager, break down what everything does. And so as a result of watching this video, you're going to be very, very competent in harnessing the Business Manager to actually launch your campaigns, launch and manage your clients' campaigns, and you're going to be very effective at the Business Manager. And so in this video, it's a little bit of a longer video, but I literally go through the Business Manager and break down what every single thing does for you step by step. Let's take a look. In this video, we're going to be giving an overview of the Facebook Business Manager. Now, the Facebook Business Manager is the platform that you are going to use to manage your ads both for yourself and for your clients. And you're going to access the Facebook Business Manager. I'm already logged in, so I'll open up an incognito window here. But the Facebook Business Manager is accessed by going to business.facebook.com. And if you don't already have an account, this is what the page looks like. If you don't already have an account, you're just going to click on Create an Account. And then you're just going to use your personal Facebook login information to create the account, and it'll walk you through that process. I'm not actually going to create a new one because that would potentially flag my account as like suspicious activity, and I don't want to mess with that. But it takes about 30 seconds. It's a very, very straightforward process. You just log in with your personal account information, follow the setup wizard, and that account will get created. Now, for the purposes of this program, I've reactivated an old Business Manager account of mine with some old past client stuff in there, and I'm actually going to be launching new ads along with you all with this program. And so when you log into your Business Manager account page, and keep in mind this is a little bit old, but you're going to see some, if you have more than one ad account linked to your Business Manager, you're going to see all those ad accounts here, see all the pages here, and obviously then when you want to move into your ads, you can just click on your ad accounts. It's right here. This is sort of your Business Manager home screen. So we can click into the ads. You can see obviously I don't have any ads running on this account right now. We'll be building that out, but this is an overview of the Ads Manager. Now, the Ads Manager has replaced the Power Editor. You may have heard things about the Facebook Power Editor and how confusing it all is. The Power Editor no longer exists on my account. I guess it's possible it does on yours because Facebook's always split testing, but this is now essentially the new Power Editor. So this Ads Manager right here is where you can go in and actually take a look at your account overview, and actually create your campaigns, your ad sets, and your ads, and push them live all from this screen. This is where you run your reports. This is pretty much where you're going to spend 98% of your time in the Business Manager. You can see up here, if you click up here, you can switch ad accounts depending on how many other ad accounts you have, if you're a member of any other Business Manager accounts, etc. So what I want to do in this video is just give an overview of all the different tools in Business Manager, so that, you know, when you come into this, honestly, the best way to understand Business Manager is just to set it up and start clicking around in it. It's not super confusing. It's relatively intuitive, and you'll understand much more by just clicking around than you will by watching this video. But I just want to give a quick overview of all the different features so that you're aware of how everything works. So if you go up here in the upper left hand corner, this is pretty much the toolbar, and so you can see these are all the different tools that you have available to you in your Business Manager. So let's just start with the plan, which is Audience Insights and Creative Hub. So Audience Insights is a great place to go to, as the name implies, get audience insights. And so essentially you can either choose an audience to start by building out interests and demographics, or you can upload a custom audience and you can see demographic data on those audiences here. Again, this is great to use during your ideal customer avatar research phase. To be honest, with the exception of the ideal customer avatar research phase, I rarely, if ever, use this tool, with the exception of, in some cases, I'll use it if I need to build out interest-based audiences, which we will get to in another video. The Creative Hub is primarily designed for like agencies, and if you're creating mock-ups of ads and want to send them to a client for approval, or send them to a team for approval, you're able to do that from here. To be perfectly honest, I've never used the Creative Hub, but it's a great built-in way to ultimately create a mock-up and then share it with a client for their feedback before you actually push it live. Can be a great addition to your workflow. The Business Manager is obviously your homepage, which we just covered. This is the Business Manager homepage, sort of the 10,000 foot view of everything that you have connected to your Business Manager. The Ads Manager is obviously where you're going to be spending 99% of your time. This is where you can go in and actually set up your ads. And so obviously occasionally it'll switch ad accounts, and so if you want to switch back to a new account or the account you're working on, you can always go up here and switch directly to that ad account. Now, this is all pretty self-explanatory. We'll be drilling into much more of this as we actually go to create and launch our ad campaign. Some things worth noting though, this is where you can actually define the columns that you want to see from a reporting perspective. And so you just click columns here. You can click on customize columns, and then you can pull in all of the possible metrics that Facebook reports on. You can pull them in over here, arrange your columns accordingly. And obviously in a later video, I'll be walking you through the columns that I recommend you set up, but that editing is done from here. You can change your attribution window, which is getting a little bit advanced and in the weeds. Typically this attribution window is perfectly fine for attribution reporting from within Facebook. You can do a breakdown by date, for example. So let's just show a comparison of this account hasn't run ads in quite some time, but if we show a breakdown, you can show a breakdown by age, for example. And so if we were to go lifetime, this will show a breakdown of the results of many of these campaigns by age or by gender, which would be female, male, unknown, by platform, by device, etc. It just gives you additional analytics and insights into many of those metrics, and you can play around with these. The export button obviously exports the data to a CSV or a spreadsheet. I have never personally exported data into a spreadsheet because the reporting system in here is actually pretty robust. Rules, you can actually set up automated rules for your campaigns. Again, that really only becomes necessary when you start managing, hundreds of thousands per month. Page posts. This is where you can actually go to view the posts for specific Facebook pages. And so these page posts are obviously all of your ads, published posts that you have, so organic, regular posts, and scheduled posts, any upcoming posts that you have scheduled. You can view that all from here. And obviously ads are essentially just posts, and so you can also find those here. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have the app dashboard. This is primarily for developers. So that's outside the scope of this. Ultimately, if you're developing some sort of app, you can find that information from your business manager. Same thing goes for app ads. And then automated rules is, again, you can set up automated rules. So like, for example, if a cost per click is going to exceed a certain amount, you can have Facebook turn off that ad or whatever the case may be. Frankly, I don't use too many automated rules simply because automated rules don't take into account context, and there's just the automation and AI side of things hasn't really advanced to the level yet where it makes sense. But you feel free to play around with it depending on the scale of your agency. It may make sense for you. So that's all in the create and manage. In the measurement and reporting side of things, you can go to ads reporting. And this is really just a more robust reporting tool for your ads. So you can create reports that run on a recurring schedule that give you specific pieces of information. Again, based on my workflow, I don't use this tool. I'll show you the workflow that I do use, which I think works better and makes clients happier. But this is a feature in the Facebook Ads Manager. The test and learn rule allows you to easily create advertising tests, which ultimately basically is just a guided way to set up split tests, and it just walks you through the tests, and then it makes it a user-friendly way to set up tests. It's not really necessary to use. It's just sort of a split test setup wizard, if you will. The Facebook Analytics. This is a new, relatively new feature in Facebook Business Manager. They're sort of attempting to compete with Google Analytics, I believe. And so this is just a way to view some advanced information on your websites, assuming you have a pixel installed on your websites, again, outside the scope of this program. It's comparable to Google Analytics. Then we have our Events Manager. We're going to be spending some time in here. The Events Manager is really where you go to set up your pixels, to set up your custom conversions, and to ultimately tell your pixel what you want it to do. And again, that's all set up from within the Events Manager. So you can see here we have our pixels. And so this is where you go to actually get your pixel code to install it in your website. We have our offline events, which are used to track offline activities. So if you're running a brick and mortar store, want to track phone call conversions, just anything that happens offline, you can set up offline events. Typically, you're not going to be using this too much. And I personally don't use it based on the tracking that I use and the deals that I set up with my clients. I don't use offline events, but it is an opportunity for you. Could be useful if you are using, for example, like running restaurant lead gen ads, want to see how a particular campaign is performed based on point of sale entry, or a specific phone number, things of that nature. We have app events, which are, again, if you have an app. This is a pretty specific use case scenario. It only applies if you actually have a Facebook app. We have custom conversions. These are very important. We're going to be spending a lot of time talking about custom conversions, but ultimately custom conversions are where you tell Facebook, based on your pixel, what you want your custom conversions to be, so that Facebook can optimize for those conversions. Then you have partner integrations, which are essentially other accounts that your business uses for purchases, interactions, whatever the case may be there. If you are partnered with Shopify, then Shopify can just integrate nicely with your business manager, etc. You can see all the integrations here. And then we have assets. So we can go to audience assets. Audience assets are, as the name implies, any custom audience that you upload. We're going to be covering that in the audience levels section. And so these are just all of the various audience types that this account has. And you can just see the names of the audiences, the types. So a custom audience would be an audience that's been manually uploaded, the size of the audience, the availability, whether or not you're ready to start running ads to it, and then whether or not an audience is being shared by another account. Audience tool, very important. We'll be covering that. Assets, you can go to images and actually view all of the images that you have. So you can actually upload images to your account, and then that way you just have a online stored pool of images to pull from anytime you're creating an ad. You can go to catalogs. This only applies for e-commerce stores, and so if you are running any sort of e-commerce store, you can upload a product catalog, which allows you then to ultimately show specific pictures pertaining and retarget visitors to your website and show them specific pictures of the actual product that they viewed on your website. Very, very powerful retargeting, and you're able to do that by creating a catalog of products. It's very simple. Shopify and most stores have native integrations to do this. Otherwise, you can upload a CSV, and again, there's a wizard here that will walk you through that entire process. Business locations only applies if you're running physical brick and mortar stores and have like a franchise, for example. So very specific use case there. And then video assets, the same as image assets, allows you to upload videos into the cloud essentially and store them on the Facebook platform so that you have easy access to them. Last thing in the business manager is the settings. And so the settings gets a little bit confusing. The easiest way to explain it is just to click around in it, but ultimately you have your settings, your business settings, and your billing. So your settings is where all of your high level settings live. So you can change the name of your ad accounts. You can change the ad account here. You can like change the name. You can change the time zone, the dollars, and just some other various business settings. You can change high level settings on your pages. High level settings on your payment settings and notification settings. In the business settings is where you can actually control like the personnel side of things of your various properties. So you can assign assets to people, you can assign people to assets, you can assign ad accounts to pages and vice versa. You can check all your data sources, can check your brand safety, any integrations that you have. Your payments, you can check your notifications. This business settings is really the hub of where all of your settings and personnel management takes place. And then lastly, obviously, you have your billing. I'm not going to click into that because I don't know if I have anything sensitive that shows up, but you can see this is where you set your billing to actually pay for your ad accounts that you own. To be very clear, anytime you're managing ad accounts for a client, they are going to set up the billing in their business manager. You never want to be responsible for actually paying for your client's ads. That just puts you in a poor situation and potentially leaves you on the hook for a lot of money if your client decides not to actually pay you. So your client arranges billing with Facebook for the ads on their own end. You just manage their ad account, and I will show you how to set up, how to actually manage a client account through the Facebook Business Manager in the next video. The purpose of this video was just to get you familiar with the Facebook Business Manager, despite the fact that it's an old account. Get you familiar with the Facebook Business Manager and just sort of understand what this means and understand how it works at a high level. The Facebook Business Manager is always changing. Facebook's always tweaking and optimizing and changing things. And so the best way to get familiar with the Business Manager is just to get in there, click around, and see what happens.